On Saturday, November 2nd, starting at noon, Kevin Williams is helping sick kids by playing video games. He needs your help to raise $1,000 for the CHIO Foundation. Donate at extra-life.org/participants/347875. The following podcast may contain immature content created by Danny Parkhill and Michael Walsh. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
For reference, the Stomping Grounds pay-per-view, which happened last Sunday.
Oh, Stomping Grounds.
It's a pay-per-view.
Is that new?
Yes.
What happened to, ladders and books or whatever? Why am I on this podcast?
Man, I gotta stop recording this so late in the week. Tomorrow is my son's birthday, and I'm absolutely surrounded by balloons right now. Like, this kid is going to get so spoiled tomorrow. He has no clue what's going on. I am the father to a 5-year-old, which is, depressing and crazy all at once, because I never actually thought, I'd have responsibilities in my life. But, there we are. I hope your friends are good today. As you can tell, I, once again, am sans Michael Walsh. Excuse me. I am sans Michael Walsh. He is off again this week. Mike is just he's got some stuff to deal with, with his new house and his job and all this kind of crap. So he's a very busy man. So he's going to take a couple weeks off. We're not quite sure how long he's going to be away, but he will be back. I can assure you that much. Excuse me, I moved my chair, and apparently it's the worst thing I could have done. Mike loves doing this, and he loves hanging out and talking to you guys, so he'll be back as soon as he possibly can. He's just got to tie up a couple loose ends, and he'll be back. However, I am not Michael Walsh. I am Daniel Parkhill. Last week I did a solo show, and I got some good reviews. I was kind of happy with it, but that is not the case this week. I decided to not do a solo show this week. Instead, I decided to I decided to call in the big guns. I decided to call in someone who is a social media guru. She does not give a about professional wrestling, and really the only experience that she has with professional wrestling in the recent past is dealing with my fat ass watching it on the daily. As I said, she is a social media guru, and most importantly to me, she is the mother of my 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing in her podcasting debut, my beautiful wife, Stephanie Parkhill. Sweetheart, how the are you?
Is this where I say
Yeah, that's my girl. I'm going to have to censor this later, because the half-hour version,
I'm aware. I've heard rumors about
so
what
really,
we do here.
You're going to be a dick and you're going to say the word right off the bat?
Yeah.
I forgot to, I meant to mark these as I go along, so I don't have to sit there for half an hour on our Sunday night when we're dealing with our 2 screaming children, and I have to ignore you guys and go through all this. But now it's your fault. Usually it's Michael.
So you're saying I should say and then say a whole lot of words you don't have to censor, then say again, and then continue going, and then just work the into the.
So people sometimes wonder why I married my wife. This is a pretty. Well, first of all, she's a hot Betty. Second of all, that's a pretty good indicator of why. I requested specifically beer for this evening. I didn't have any beer in my fridge, so I sent the wife out to get beer.
The wife was going out and kindly picked you up beer.
Well, whatever. You're going out. The point is, you got me beer. I'm trying to put you over.
Thank you.
On my podcast.
They sell it at the grocery store now. Quite convenient.
Yeah, really. Yeah, but not in corner stores yet. Thanks to Doug Ford.
Oh, maybe it'll be at our corner store.
Oh, it might be. Yeah, we're looking at a corner store right now. We live right across from old Circle K.
That's what I want. I want lottery tickets, ice cream for children, and beer right in my backyard.
That'd be pretty dope. Yeah, I guess I should note, as we're doing this podcast, there is a baby monitor directly in front of us. I literally just put my son to bed. He's probably listening to us do this as we speak.
He knows about the balloons now.
He knows about the balloons because I've probably been yelling about it. So one of us might have to disappear and the other's just going to keep talking. Okay, babe?
Sounds great.
Sounds great. So let's talk some wrestling. How's that sound to you?
Ugh.
This
Sounds great.
You've waited your entire life for this, huh?
Oh my God.
You're so used to, having, me and Satchel Ass Contant sit in our living room and discuss this stuff, and here you are. There's no Satchel Ass here tonight. There's no Michael Walsh here tonight.
And I have to say, Adam is a very good explainer of things, and I do find myself listening to him when he explains. So that's a shame Adam's not here.
Well, I'm going to have to explain a few things to you. So I mean, we'll get right into it. First question for you, Stephanie. Have you ever seen Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher?
I don't know what any of those words are.
Precisely. That's a shout out for the 3 people who will get that rib. Well, okay, I'll bring up a name that you do know, at least I believe you know, Eric Bischoff. Do you remember Eric Bischoff?
Is that the older guy? Sorry.
Well, I mean, yes, now. I mean, not probably from when. So Stephanie used to watch back in the day, right? She's an Attitude Era mark, 90% of wrestling. Every time I bring up wrestling to anybody, they're like, oh, I watch wrestling. Yeah, I like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I like Triple H, and I like the whole suck it thing. Yeah, so that's the kind of fan my darling wife is. I've brought her in. Well, I mean, I say I've brought her in. Like, I force her because it's my television. I force her to watch.
It's my television. I don't know, like.
Well, like what?
That's how you talk on this podcast. Should I be listening to these?
Pretty much. Well, most of the time I throw in a bunch of references to my penis, but you're on the podcast and you can confirm how.
I love your
shrunken and dork like it is.
Dork. Yes, wrestling is on. I can't always block it out, so I am aware peripherally when things happen. Also, I'm friends with lots of you people on my Facebook
with lots
page.
of you people.
So,
you hear that? She refers to you as you people. What do you mean, you people?
For bogging my feet down.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Did you guys hear that?
She's fine.
She's fine? She's going to go back to sleep? That's my daughter. I'm not stopping this podcast for what it's worth. If this kid cries, it's like, these motherfuckers going to hear her cry this entire time. So Eric Bischoff, I went last week and I mentioned part of a big tour that Eric Bischoff was going to be on, the Ironman tour, 30 cities in 30 days. Oh, she's pissed.
You talk about
okay,
it.
I'm gonna talk. 32. Jesus, here I gotta turn this thing down. 30 cities in 30 days, the Eric Bischoff Ironman tour. I hyped it up last week because he was going to go all over Ontario, all over some of the other provinces. Unfortunately, that got canceled. We got word on, what day is it today? Today's Friday, so it would have been Wednesday, I guess? No, it would have been earlier than that, Tuesday. We got word on Tuesday that, unfortunately, the Ironman tour is a no-go. So yes, Eric Bischoff unfortunately had to cancel the Ironman tour that was planned.
I do remember seeing something like that.
Yes.
With you people on Facebook.
With you people. That's going to be the title of this episode, I think. You people in quotation marks. Yes, the tour was canceled, unfortunately. But I mean, there was a pretty good reason behind it. Do you know what the reason is, sweetheart?
No, I'm assuming it's a good reason.
Well, it's a good reason for Eric Bischoff. It kind of sucks. It's kind of a kick in the ass for everybody else. But Eric Bischoff, former executive producer of WCW, I might add, sweetheart, along with Paul Heyman, which is who you think it was, have been named executive producers of the WWE television shows. So Paul Heyman is taking WWE Raw, and Eric Bischoff is taking WWE SmackDown. Why this is such a big deal is because if you recall, back in the 90s, when you were a fan in the days of Steve Austin and Billy Gunn, your favorite wrestler of all time, Billy Gunn, and your second favorite wrestler of all time, X-Pac.
Oh my God.
Back in those days, Eric Bischoff was trying to drive Vince McMahon's WWF out of business, and he was doing a very good job of it. He was on top of the ratings for 83 weeks.
Okay, wait, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Why did he have to cancel his show if he's starting another job?
What, Eric Bischoff?
Yeah.
WCW went out of business.
No, I mean, like, if he's got this thing, why couldn't he just do a show and then start his thing?
Well, because that's not how business works, Stephanie.
Of course, you're like, I have a previous commitment.
You can't be like, hey, yeah, I want to take this WWE executive producer job that will pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars per year.
Okay.
Can you give me a month so I can tour,
Yeah.
Oshawa?
I have all these people bought
It doesn't
and
quite
we're
work
super
that way.
excited. Okay, go.
We were super excited for it.
It
and
would have
sucks.
just created more fans.
It would-
Non-fans.
Well, yeah, well, I don't know about that.
Carry on.
Anyway, the reason it's such a big deal is because Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman, who ran WCW and ECW respectively back in the day, two major competitors in Vince McMahon's WWF, are now working directly under Vince McMahon. They are the two main guys in charge of the shows, with the exception of Vince McMahon. So, do you have any thoughts on how crazy that is, looking back at...
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
Perhaps there's only one wrestling federation left, and where the hell are all these people supposed to get some jobs?
Okay.
They don't have another place to go.
You know, you're going to regret that theory in about 30 seconds.
Oh my god, are you going to talk about the other one?
The other one that nobody cares about?
But it's
we
not
went
the same
over
level.
notes like
it's
super
not the same
quickly.
Level.
It is the same level.
Oh, there's no way they're paying millions and millions of dollars to have them be an executive.
The fucking guy who runs the Jacksonville Jaguars runs the thing.
I don't even know what the Jacksonville Jaguars are.
What in the
are you talking about?
Okay.
What is that? Some kind of
all right, let's start from the beginning.
What is that,
here.
like Little League World Series kind of?
What oh my god. Okay. I miss Mike. So, let's start from the beginning here, okay?
Oh god, here we go.
WWE has not had any solid competition since Eric Bischoff's WCW went out of business. And to a lesser extent, Paul Heyman's ECW.
Sure.
Recently, there has been a new promotion that's come out called All Elite Wrestling. Now, All Elite Wrestling is run by the Young Bucks, who I think I've shown you a couple of Young Bucks matches before.
I know, but I've heard their name.
No. Kenny Omega.
You told me about that 2 minutes ago.
Okay, I told you about that 2 minutes ago.
I saw a picture.
And Cody Rhodes, who is the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
I don't know.
Cody, here's something that will blow your mind.
I don't know. Hold on, I can blow your mind. Oh,
okay,
wait, no, I can't. Maybe I can. I already know who Cody Rhodes. I don't know who the other old dude you mentioned was, but I know who Cody Rhodes is.
Oh my god. My wife knows who Cody Rhodes is, but not Dusty Rhodes.
Because I was looking at the action figures in Toys R Us, and there's a lot of Cody Rhodes action figures.
Because he doesn't work for WWE anymore. That's why there's so many action figures.
They're like $8. So.
Hey, do you know where you can see Cody Rhodes as an aside?
Is that the Cody poster I saw on Facebook?
That is the Cody poster with you people. But yes, Cody will be appearing at Fighting Back number 9. I think it's number 9. I hope Mark doesn't kick me in the balls. Fighting Back here in Ottawa on August the 20th.
I think it's the 16th.
No, it's the 16th or 17th. It's the day before the Chinlock show, which I told you about last week. So come in. Yeah, Steph's looking it up as we speak. You can come into Ottawa, hang out with me and Satchelas Contant.
What am I checking? August 16th?
On August 16th, that's the date here in Ottawa. Cody will be at this show, a fundraising event in memory of Frank Morin, a.k.a. Stinky the Homeless Guy, a.k.a. Dash Bison, who sadly passed away as a result of cancer back in, I think it was 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
They've since raised over $200,000.
They have since raised over $200,000, and we will continue to raise more money. It's a fantastic event. There's your chance to see Cody Rhodes.
Hey, this is a commercial for patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca, where you can get early access to episodes of your favorite WrestleMedia shows, get full uncut and uncensored versions of your favorite shows, and more. Don't want to hear this commercial on your podcast anymore? Sign up at our main event tier and get these episodes ad-free. Want to hear your own commercial here instead of ours? We've got tiers for that too. Visit patreon.com/WrestleMedia.ca and join the WrestleMedia revolution today.
The other thing that I can tell you, and this is something that I didn't know, is that Cody Rhodes calls himself the American Nightmare because his father was the American Dream. Okay. You get it?
I understand opposites, but I don't get what does the American Nightmare mean?
Well, Cody is the American Nightmare.
I'm pretty sure they're in the American Nightmare, and I'm pretty sure it's not Cody Rhodes right now, just saying.
Yeah, okay, well, you want to talk about the American Nightmare. Let's talk about the AEW Nightmare.
Okay, so hold on a sec. Just to go back to the original point, to circle back on making a cohesive story here.
Okay.
I would argue that AEW is not the same thing as, like, decades-long legacy of WWE.
Okay, so
and I'm pretty sure the funding is a little heavier. And the success is more successful.
Okay, so let's go through
and
this.
Worldwide.
Let's go through this, okay? So AEW, the president of All Elite Wrestling, is Tony Khan. Tony Khan and the Khan family own the Jacksonville Jaguars NFL team.
It's an NFL team?
It's an NFL team.
I've never heard of this.
That's because you don't watch real sports.
I watch CFL.
You watch CFL, which doesn't count, and you only watch it because you have to watch it.
It's true.
You don't watch baseball, and you complain every time. Hashtag go Red Blacks. It is literally your job to cheer on the Red Blacks. You don't watch baseball.
I do watch lots of baseball. That's also on my TV, and I like that more, so that's exciting.
Well, you like it more, again, because whenever I'm watching something, it's baseball or pro wrestling, so you're forced to watch it. Anyway, you don't like real sports. Point is that the Khan family has a metric ton of money.
Is it Khan?
Khan, yes. We're going to Google that while we're on the air as well. So Tony Khan brought in 4 of the...
It's only 6.8 billion.
It's only 6.8 billion.
But I know, but...
You know how much money Vince McMahon has at this point? Under $1 billion.
There's no way.
Under $1 billion. The WWE is a family-run business, right? They spend a lot of money on very certain superstars, namely Brock Lesnar. AEW has come in, and they said, we got Jacksonville Jaguar money, sirs, so we can hire whoever the hell we want, essentially.
It's 2.8 billion net worth.
2.8 billion net... Well, that's personal net worth, not the company.
Right, okay,
right? Fine. As far as I know. Now watch, I'm probably talking out of my ass, let's be real. But anyway, AEW is run on the real level by Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Cody Rhodes, right? Those are the 4 guys that run it. One of the big things going back to the Eric Bischoff and Paul Heyman signing, one of the rumors is that they were hired because AEW was interested in those guys, specifically Eric Bischoff.
Oh, okay, so they took...
Right, Eric Bischoff runs a podcast called 83 Weeks, and I hope that continues, with a guy by the name of Conrad Thompson. Okay, Conrad Thompson is... he has associations with him. He has associations with Bruce Pritchard, who recently has been rehired by WWE. He runs an event called Starcast, which is heavily... it's not quite an AEW production, but it might as well be, right? They run it in the same towns.
Is that the logo I showed you?
No.
Don't tell them the logo.
No, I'm telling the story.
No, you're not telling the logo.
No, we gotta go off.
Okay, keep going. No, keep going. We'll go off topic.
Okay, we'll go off topic later. So they run an event called Starcast, which, among other people, this past year in Las Vegas, they had booked The Undertaker to be at this event. Long story short, Vince McMahon whipped out his hired The Undertaker back, basically gave him a metric butt ton of money. Same with Bruce Pritchard.
Basically, to sum up, he's trying to sink the company.
He's trying to sink the company before it even gets off the ground.
That's why he only has $2 billion in his
So that's why that's at the point. That's the point we're at now, right? That's one of the rumors. I think that's full of shit. I think he hired Eric Bischoff because Eric Bischoff is the one guy in Vince McMahon's 35 years being in the wrestling business that's even come remotely close to putting Vince McMahon out of business.
Can I fact check this conversation? So WWE is a publicly traded company, so I just looked up their current valuation.
Oh my god, you're going to make me look like a piece of shit on my own podcast.
$5.67 billion is their net worth as of June 28th, which I believe is today. It is. Jesus. But it's weird because on April 17th, their net worth was $7.5 billion. So something terrible happened.
Okay, so what's...
That's Saudi Arabia. I heard you yelling about that before.
Well, no, here's the deal. So WWE has a deal with Fox, right? SmackDown is going over to Fox starting in the fall, right?
Ugh, what?
Yeah, woof indeed. That's another story entirely. But Fox is paying them a load of money to do it, which is all fine and good.
Wait, does it air still the same slot, or are they moving it earlier into their prime time?
I think it's getting moved into prime time, but don't quote me on that.
They're going after families.
They are going after families. But the thing is, objectively, the WWE product has sucked a over the past few months. For reference, the Stomping Grounds pay-per-view, which happened last Sunday...
What the hell is Stomping Grounds?
It's a pay-per-view.
Is that new?
Yes.
What happened to, ladders and books or whatever? Why am I on this podcast? What is it called?
Ladders and books.
Money in the book?
Oh, God.
Money in the book?
Okay.
There's something in the suitcase, right? And they hit it off the ladder?
You're thinking of two different things. The one you're thinking of right offhand is Money in the Bank. That's the one you're thinking.
Yeah, it's not that far off. Money in the Bank.
But I thought you were talking about tables, ladders, and chairs.
That's what probably I'm thinking of too. But there's a ladder in Money in the.
That's right.
Okay.
It's a multi-man.
What is Stomping Grounds?
Stomping Grounds is a pay-per-view that they pulled out of their ass, and it's
what?
mainly WrestleMania rematches, and it sucks. The main event was Seth Rollins versus face Baron Corbin. I hate Baron Corbin. Can we talk about that for a minute?
I don't know.
You don't know who he is, but you hate him. He wears a suit while he wrestles.
Okay, that's annoying.
Go Google him. Go Google Baron Corbin.
Here's what I'm gonna say. People don't like to figure out what it is. That's why it sucks, because there's no idea behind it.
Well, they're on coast mode right now. Yes, he's very tall.
Because I searched it, and the first thing was check out his height.
Yeah, that guy right there. That's what he wrestles in.
I have seen him.
That's what he wrestles in.
In a vest?
In a vest.
Sounds uncomfortable.
He looks like a fucking waiter at Applebee's, for God's sake.
He does actually look like... He needs some flare pants. Oh, that's super dangerous. Never mind, take it back. Carry on, as you were.
So, yes, anyway.
His name is Thomas Pestalk? That's a cool name.
Pestalk?
Pestalk.
Now we're shooting.
I was like, what does that say?
Now we're shooting.
I thought it said another rude word that you have to bleep out on the censored version.
Yeah, well, there you go. Anyway, so that's the deal. A lot of people are disenfranchised with the way WWE is right now. So the big rumor around it is, they're hiring these guys to keep them away from AEW. When realistically, it's probably more Vince McMahon is a old man. And can't do all this work himself.
Yeah, most people have their legacy plan if it's a normal corporation in a long time ago. I'm sure he has a legacy plan, but that would have been sort of.
Well, the thing is, the legacy plan was, at least to an extent, when I die, it goes to Stephanie McMahon and Triple H.
Yeah.
Triple H is doing a great job down in NXT.
Yeah.
But it's not really good for what? What are you looking at?
There's a bug. Sorry, I wasn't sure if it was inside. Carry on. Sorry.
Welcome to the last thing.
Okay.
So, anyway. So that's what the hiring is for. Okay?
Yes, no, that makes sense. Yeah, you wouldn't spend all that money just to spite somebody else.
Well, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Right. So here's where the whole social media thing comes in. And why I brought you on to my show, my darling. Is it on? Wait, what time are we at? 22 minutes. Should we keep going for the freeloaders? Or should we cut it off for the freeloaders?
Oh, I see.
Because there's a paid version, right?
Yeah.
You're the social media and marketing queen. You're the queen of marketing.
I don't know. You keep throwing words like queen and guru. It sounds like a. I need a swivel chair and free paid lunches. If you're gonna call me those.
Free paid lunches.
Yeah.
I work.
Okay.
Every lunch with me is a paid lunch. Even if it's cheese and... What did you eat? Cheese and...
Would you leave my dinner alone? It was delicious. I had cheese and turkey and a little cheese plate.
Little cheese.
They're gonna make you believe it.
Anyway, so here's where we get... I'll let the freeloaders in for a few more minutes. Why not? Here's where we get in with all the social media stuff, right? Now, another thing... do you remember Dean Ambrose? Remember that name?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why.
So, Dean Ambrose was a wrestler for WWE.
Yeah.
And, long story short, he let his contract run out. He didn't quit, but he let his contract run out, and he did not re-sign with WWE. Instead, he went to AEW.
Okay, hold on a sec, though, because I find that problematic. What do you mean he let his contract run out?
Well, I mean, just like any other sports or entertainment.
Yeah, but he probably would have approached it, I don't know, a couple months towards the end and been like, hey, I'm going to leave or I'm going to stay.
Yeah,
you don't just let it run out. You don't just ignore it and then don't come in on Tuesday.
He did do that. They approached him with a new contract in January.
Yeah, and he rejected it.
He said, go f*** your hat.
Yeah, okay, so he
And then WWE, and that was a weird thing too, WWE actually put out a message saying, John Good, which is his shoot name, John Good, is not re-signing a WWE contract, and he's done here as of whatever it was, May or something like that, April or May. Right? So he left, and he went on a podcast with Chris Jericho and basically talk the creative process of WWE and why the show is so terrible these days and yada, yada, yada. I forgot to end my previous point. Stomping Grounds had, I think it was a 4,500 paying customers for that show.
But don't you get it through the network, though?
Well, yeah, you can get it through the network, but, still, that's not their
people don't know what they're buying. If you're like, buy this empty bag, and you're like, I've already seen...
Well, here's the deal. Chinlock got $2,500 paid.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not WWE marketing machine kind of thing, that's...
Yeah, but the card was, and the sell behind it was good.
Yeah, except for the f***ing Rumble and that one guy who tore the house down.
Still can't get over it. It was the best day of my life.
Really. Anyway, so Jon Moxley went to AEW and he kind of, had some parting shots along the way for WWE. Now, to end this little part so we can go into the social media thing, Seth Rollins is a good friend of Jon Moxley. And I guess he took a bit of offense to what Jon Moxley had to say.
He's still in WWE?
Yes, Seth Rollins is. Yes, he's the Universal Champion.
Are all these people not complaining just because they didn't get put over and they got kicked out?
Jon Moxley was put over pretty well. He just hated the creative process. He didn't like people writing his promos for him. He didn't like people saying, "Here's exactly what you have to do at this exact time," and yada yada yada. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But the point is that's how he felt, and there it is. So now he's off to AEW. Oh, I almost puked on that.
That's disgusting.
That one was gross.
Sign me out. I'm done.
Hold on, give me a minute. Hold on.
Flip the table.
So now we talk about what people have been saying on social media this week. By they, I mean Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega and a whole bunch of guys. So if you're listening to this, you gosh darn freeloader. Hold on, wait.
I want to read it.
Hold on, wait. Steph just opened something here. WWE creative team has no idea where Eric Bischoff is being advertised. On Ringside News. I don't want to watch Ringside News.
I don't understand. Where were you before?
I clicked the first article. So I did my research before this podcast. I somehow ended up on Ringside News, and now I hate myself, and I'm gonna.
What's the difference? Why is this not a good site?
It's a site. These guys have.
I tried to read that thing you sent me, and I was like, this is too annoying. Whoever wrote this is a little.
Anyway,
Felix Upton. Sorry for Felix if he's listening. Felix won't be listening.
Felix won't be listening. Felix is too busy making up bullshit.
Felix will himself.
Freeloaders, here's the point where we say goodbye to you. If you would like to hear more of myself and my beautiful wife discussing that she has no idea about, and frankly I barely do, you can hit us up over at patreon.ca/WrestleMedia.ca for the full version of this podcast. So, Steph, you got anything to say to the freeloaders?
Do they hear me say
No.
Oh.
What
Sorry.
You purposely know I'm going to be censoring this.
It was really nice to chat with you people. Have a great evening. Or daytime whenever you're listening to this.
This has been a presentation of WrestleMedia, where everything is wrestling and wrestling is everything.